So for my review slash tutorial for this video, I will show you a little bit about how to navigate the back end of Convertkit, but also a little bit on how to create your own form or landing page, and then send out an email broadcast, work with a sequence, and even to automate your sequences as well. So on the back end here, you can choose to check out your new subscribers. You can either go to your subscribers here, or you can go to grow and check out the subscriber list here. You can also see your recent subscribers down here, but I don't want to show you that, so that way you don't see their emails. So going to subscribers here, this will show you your trends on when you have new subscribers. If you have someone unsubscribe, that's when you will see this here. And that's just the name of the game. That's just how email marketing works. You're going to have times when you get a bunch of emails, and you're going to have times when you lose emails as well. This typically happens. You lose a lot more emails typically when you do a lot of marketing campaigns, so that's fairly normal. But this will show you your trend over about a month's time here, from August 15th to September. You can go to your total subscribers, so this shows your trend over time as well. Again, this covers a month. You can also choose to select all time and such. So if you want to see your trends. For the deliverability, this option is only available for the Pro version. So really quick, I'm going to go over to the plans and pricing of ConvertKit. So for the plans and pricing, for your first 1,000 subscribers, you can get the free version. You can actually access quite a few of the features as well. For the Creator version and the Creator Pro, you obviously get more options, more features. But as a beginner, the free version is perfect because you can get quite a few subscribers, and you can honestly start monetizing early on enough that you can afford to upgrade to the Creator and the Creator Pro version. But if you happen to be getting a bunch of email subscribers coming in pretty quickly, then it's fairly easy to upgrade as well. You can also try the free trial here if you want to try out those features like the automations, the sequences, things like that. That's super helpful. So the automation here, the sequences, that's only available for the paid version. If you want to add more team members, so if you have like a virtual assistant, you can add them to that. But again, you have to have the Creator version, you have to have the paid version. For the features here, you can also expand the list to see all the features, which is a great way to kind of decide which version you need for you. You have access to for all versions, including the free version, you have access to the email template library. So if you don't really know how to set up an email broadcast, that's okay. They've got email templates to kind of make it look a little bit prettier, make it look a little bit pizzazzed, that kind of thing. You can try out their free templates, the email templates here as well. You can create your own. You can also send out unlimited email broadcasts. So when you send out an email, when you create an email broadcast, it sends out to your whole list. That's what a broadcast means. You've also got additional options here. So the automate your work. This is really helpful for the paid version when you don't have a lot of time and you just need to save yourself as much as possible. That's where the automation is really helpful. For the content snippets, if you're familiar with WordPress, they have what's called little widgets, and these widgets are things that you can insert. You can create a widget and you can put it into your post, your pages, whatever you need to, and it will basically save your work. So essentially it's like a little template for a snippet of content. That's what that means for the emails here. So that saves you tons of time when you create new emails. You can also use the visual automation template. So when you send out like automated emails, like for a sequence, this is when that shows up, that automation option there. For the earn a living here, this whole section, this is if you have created a product. Digital products work really well for this, but you can also use physical products too, I believe. But for the earn a living, this is when you create a product and you set it up through Convertkit, and and your audience can purchase things through the emails that they get, and that's when you see all of this here. I haven't done this yet, but that's something that I might set up later on down the line. But you can set it up with the free version as well, so that's super helpful. For the support, you other than the free migration from another platform, so let's say you're using like MailChimp, Constant Contact, any of those other platforms. If you want to migrate all of your things over, you can do that, but you can't do that for the free version, which makes sense. They don't want people switching back and forth all the time. It's a lot of work put into that, but you can get a team member to help you move your forms, templates, and automations and such, so that's available for you. Down here at the bottom, you can also check out the cost as well. So let's say you only have 300 subscribers. Your minimum cost, whether you have 0 or 300, is going to be $9 a month for the full year. So the yearly price is a little bit different than the monthly price. The yearly price, if you pay in full, you get 2 months free, which is where you see that difference. And then these are some people who have used Convertkit for their content as well. So you can kind of see the types of creators, content writers. You even have photographers, so bloggers, that kind of thing. You've got a whole list of things here that work really well with Convertkit. So if you have any other questions for any features that they have an FAQ section at the bottom where you can check out some of these questions as well. If you want to check it out with a demo, you can get a tour. But that's just kind of the pricing there. For your first 1,000 subscribers, it's free. If you want to use the creator version, it's the same price from 0 to 300 subscribers. But after that, once you get to 1,000 subscribers, the price goes up. Pricing wise, I believe this is just a really great option to begin with. For beginners, it's affordable. For the free version, it's very affordable. But even when you want to get started working with like automations and sequences, it's $9 a month. That's maybe the cost of a McDonald's breakfast. So I think the price is very reasonable. And then going back to my list of subscribers here, for the purchases, this is where you can see if you have any of those products that you set up through ConvertKit. This is where you'll see those purchases. If you have any unsubscribes, this is where you'll see those. These are the responses here. So when you want to unsubscribe from an email, usually there's responses of, I no longer want to receive these emails. I never signed up for the list. They're inappropriate. The emails are spam, or you can include other reasons. You can customize these. You also have just the no response there too. So these are the responses when you want to update your email list as well. If someone wants to maybe change where they don't want any marketing emails, I believe you can customize that. So you have some fun options to work with. But that's your subscriber section there. That kind of shows you all of that. Again, you can check out over a year's time if you need. Going back to the grow, you can also check out a creator profile. This is, I think, for the paid version, I believe. That's where you can check all that out there. The creator network is for the paid version. And this is where you can connect with other content creators and kind of help each other boost your email list as well. So going over to the landing pages and forms, this is kind of the more important section here when you're first getting started. In order to have people sign up for your list, you'll need to create either a form and or a landing page. And my whole list here is a little bit messy right now. I have a bunch that I was just kind of experimenting with. So I need to go through these and kind of tidy that up. But when you have a form, this is what the little icon looks like. And then for our landing page, this is what this looks like. So checking out the form here, I think I still need to edit a few things on this, but this is the image that you will have. And then you'll also have different fields here. So you have the first name, then you have the email address. The email address is default. You have to have it there. For the second one, you can add additional ones. The first one is there by default. And then I had to add the first name here, the second field. So I have a custom field and I have first name. If I wanted to, though, I could add a tag, and this is where you have that drop-down option. So for the tag, you go down to tag options, and let's say you have someone who wants to sign up for different things. So I have a Facebook group called Successful Online Business Owners. So if you have several things that you want in your several options for your opt-in form, you can include a tag here. So if someone wants to be tagged into maybe finance content, you can include that tag. So when you send out an email, you can customize that email so that way you only send it out to people with this tag here. So that's a way to easily customize your emails as well, your forms. I'm going to go back to custom field. It's going to stay as a first name. You can also change colors, border here of that. That's kind of what that looks like. You can go to black, you can go to white, kind of whatever you want. I think this is only available for the paid version, but it's been a while since I was using the free version, so I can't remember what all features are included in in the free version. But you can choose to add in your branding colors here if you want. I typically use kind of this dark turquoise color, which I think looks really nice. You can kind of see that in my on my website as well. You can see a little bit of those colors there. For now, I'm just going to stick to white for this. But if you go to the settings here, actually, so you can choose from a template library here. So before I go to the settings, you can choose different types. If you want to create kind of like a more narrow one, kind of a wide one here, these are some of the template options that you have. And then going over to settings now. So whenever someone subscribes, this here will take place of where that form was. You can also redirect someone to an external page if you want. So if you have like a thank you page, or if you have like maybe a webinar or something that you want to show to someone who subscribes to like a particular form, you can send them to this as well. You can also customize the domain name if you want. For the incentive, this is where if someone signs up, you have a free opt-in. You say, sign up to receive, in this case, free Facebook cover photos, and then I would send them to maybe a URL, or, but this is after they confirm it's sent to their email. This is that incentive email, so it's not going to show up on the form here on the website. It's going to send to their email. They'll have to go to their email, find this content here, and then they can access whatever they need. You can also send a download. So let's say you have like a free PDF or like an ebook or something like that. That's where you would include this download. You would choose a file from your computer, and then they would go to their email and follow the download there. For the advanced section, this is where you have this here. So when someone, if you have a return visitor who's already subscribed to like a particular form, so say someone subscribed to my Facebook cover photo form here, this form will continue to show to them. You can also choose to hide the form from them. So if they come back to maybe the same blog post, you can hide that form so they don't see it. So that is something to be mindful of too if you want to have that maybe customized on your website. You can also show custom content here. If you want, you can type in some words, whatever. You can also send them to a thank you page when they're done. And you can also excuse me, you can choose the invisible reCAPTCHA, which will kind of show up on the form as well. But that's kind of the specific settings you have there. You can also go to publish, and you can, if you want to enter code into your website, you can do that as well. You can do the JavaScript, HTML. I think JavaScript typically is the more recommended, easier one to work with. You can also share it if you want like a link to someone's version of a form. I think you can share that like with other content creators if you want. If you go to WordPress, they have a plugin for Convertkit, which is really easy to work with. You just insert it as a block, and then you can kind of customize it from there. You also have this option here as well to embed it into your site, so you've got that option there. You can also kind of preview what the form looks like, which really it's not a big difference on the preview. You can also check out the reports and kind of see how people have been responding to that in a little more detail. So this is kind of like a newer, I'm not going to look at that yet, but this is kind of a newer one, so I still need to update a few things on that, so I'm not quite ready to use it. And this is just because I adjusted settings, so I'm not going to save that. But that's the form, and then the landing page. This is a landing page here. I'm just going to do the budget spreadsheet. And again, this, I kind of want to update this as well. I feel a little outdated. But this, you can include an image, so you can, edit it, replace it, that kind of thing. If you choose to edit it, you can crop it down however you want. You can add filters if you want. There's just a few filters. There's not a lot of options, but you can kind of adjust things a little bit if you want. Change brightness, that kind of thing. You can also kind of mark up things. You can draw on it, that kind of thing. So you got some options, kind of play with it if you want. So you can also include headings. This is your header. This is your text. You can change the font color if you want. And then here again, kind of like you had with the forms, you've got your email address and your first name. If you want to add in more fields, you go down here to the plus, you add another field. You have, in this case, you have the custom fields. You can go to, you've got first name here as an option. I think you can also choose last name, but that will show up in your subscriber list where it will include that field as well. You can also choose, again, your custom tag. You can choose those if you want. So if you want multiple options, you can have that. You can also have the required option. So for the email address, it is, by default required, because otherwise it's not an email form. And then if you wanted to, you could also require the first name if you wanted. So someone won't be able to sign up for this form until they also include their first name and email address. So just be mindful of that. If you want that to be included, you can. Here's your button. You can change this. You can change the text of this here if you want. So you can say, send me now. Whatever you want to do to customize that. I believe you can also customize this. Yep. So you can change that to, whatever text you want. You can also change the color of that. Font size, that kind of thing. So everything is really easy to customize. It's easy to work with. This happens to be I think it's a template. You can also add a second page if you want to. And I believe this is really great for thank you pages. So, yep, kind of that same design here. I don't necessarily want that, but you can add headings here, that kind of thing. So you got some fun options to kind of play with. This is just one of my forms. You got the preview here. Again, the preview is not really a big deal. You kind of see everything you need to already. So for settings, again, you've got your success message. You can do the external, you can redirect them to an external page or thank you page. You've got your domain name. You have your incentive, and this is again where you can also adjust an incentive email as well for this. And this is where this shows up here. You can also do like the confirm your subscription. So all kinds of things here. You can adjust those things. And I'll show you a little bit more about how to adjust the emails in a moment. For now, this is just the Lenny page section. Again here, so this I've already added in my free budget spreadsheet. You can also choose a URL if you want. So that's to kind of customize that if you want. You can auto confirm, that kind of thing. You also have the advanced things. You got the invisible reCAPTCHA. You have the thank you page, continue to show the form. I would keep this for landing pages. For the other forms, if you have that on your website, you can kind of pick and choose what's right for you. But I would say for the landing pages, I would probably kind of keep that as is. For SEO and analytics, this is a great way for you to kind of customize this. You can also choose an image. So if you want to post a landing page on social media, you can choose what image you want to include when like that little thumbnail that pops up. You can choose what image you want to include in that. You can also, because this is a landing page, it has its own URL. You can add your own analytics into here, so you can include Google Analytics, Facebook, Pinterest if you want that. There's all kinds of things here you can add. You can also include a description as well. So those are your analytics, and that's really helpful for beginners, or for anyone really, for any content creator to kind of decide where their business is, what kind of responses you're getting to certain forms, how they can kind of nitpick and edit things. So that's really helpful. If you go to the publish, you get, this is your URL here, so you can copy and paste this. You can post it in social media, and then that will pop up, including with that thumbnail, in your post. So that's really helpful there. I'm not going to save that because I don't want that to be changed there just yet. You can also create a new one if you want. You can choose either form or landing page. For your landing page, you also have tons of templates as well. So you can also pick and choose what kind of templates you want here. So they also have some, like this one here, Alberta, that has a little video option there. Academy has an option as well. So if you like to have like webinars, like workshops, that kind of thing, that's something that you can kind of, that's a great template for that. This one here works good for recipes if you want that. If you have kind of like photography, design, you got some fun options. Again, you have another one that's really great for like webinars and stuff, or for videos. So you got lots of fun templates here to pick and choose from. So you can also got an ebook. Those are kind of good. So this one here is great for ebook. I think this is the one that I have for my free budget spreadsheet. So that one works good. So you got some fun options to play with. Those are your templates, landing pages and forms. I'm not going to show you the creator network. The creator profile, I'm not going to necessarily show you that either. For the send, this is where you can send out your email. So real quick, I'll go to the email templates. So I have 3 email templates that I can kind of choose from when I'm creating an email. You can also choose a new template if you would like. And you can pick from an option that they have. You can also import your own. If you have someone who's created one, you can add that code. So you got some fun options to play with. So going to the broadcasts. This is where you actually send out your emails. And this is where you can send out a new broadcast. And this is where you will add in the heading or your subject line. And then you can add in content here. I believe this little snippet thing here, that little plus sign, you could include your own snippets if you wanted. So snippet here, reusable content. This is where you can find that reusable stuff. So you can create your own if you want. I think this inline option is actually kind of new. So if you have like a little introduction thing that you like to do every time that you want to be consistent, you can do that. Or you can have like your little signature at the bottom, that kind of thing. So you got some options for that. You can also add in paragraphs, headings, lists, numbered lists. Personalization, this is really important here. This is where you can add in your subscriber's first name. You can also do like a personalized greeting if you want. If they have a tag, you can do that as well. Typically, I just do the first name. I wouldn't necessarily do the email address. It kind of looks a little bit off sometimes, I think, in an email. But there might be some reason that you or some kind of content that works really good for that. I typically don't use it, but you might be able to have some use for it. So that's the great thing about Convertkit, is it's really easy to personalize. This is where you have their first name here. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to go to the templates, and I'm going to drop in kind of my and yes, go ahead and replace content. This is for kind of my typical newsletter here. I've got my photo. I have my disclosure here. So anytime you have any kind of affiliate links, you need to have a disclosure, even an email. I don't believe Amazon affiliate allows you to post any of their links in emails, so just do be mindful of that. And then here's where you have that personalized thing there. So this is just kind of a design that I have. I need to update some of that. You can also add in your socials as well if you want. That has my Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. You can go over to snippets. Again, you've got your personalization if you want. You've got buttons. If you want a button, you can add that in. Click here. And then you can add in a URL if you want someone to be able to follow that. So you can go to a product. If you have a product that you've created, you can add that in as well. Icons for your socials. Snippets, get that. You have divider if you just want like a line, you can do that. So that's where you can personalize that. You can change color, kind of whatever you want. Let's see, blue. So I think I typically have that kind of towards my top under my affiliate disclosure. And then if you want, you can add in an image. You can add in a file, a video. You can add one from YouTube if you want. You can add in a gallery, that kind of thing. Also, this countdown timer can be really helpful as well, especially if you have like an event or a like a sale that's going on. You want to make sure that you include that timer, because sometimes that can incentivize someone to buy. So let's see, we'll go to September 16th, 6:45. And then here you go. That's what that looks like here. I've got 2 days, because today's the 14th. It ends on the 16th. So it has 2 days, 5 hours, 43 minutes, and 15 seconds left. So that's really helpful for sales. If you want to increase sales, that helps a lot. You can also do squared or rounded. So that's the squared. You also have rounded. You can choose the background color. So I want the background to be, see, red, and that looks kind of a hard on the eyes, so you can also change that if you want. Let's see, foreground color, I'm going to try white. So that's, you can change that if you want to. Easy to customize, looks really good. So again, this is where you can do your own branding colors if you want, so that's really nice to kind of carry that branding over. If the sale, when the timer ends, if you want, you can say sale has ended or event has ended, kind of whatever you want. So when that timer is up, that's what they're going to see. And then you can also include the URL. So whenever someone clicks on that timer, if you have like an affiliate link, you can click it to that. If you have like a Facebook event, you can send them to that. So that's kind of an option there for you. Preview email. This actually is kind of helpful. And that kind of shows you a warning if something doesn't link to anything. That's fine. I'm not worried about that here. First name goes here. That's essentially what that is. So I say hello, first name. But that's kind of what that looks like. You have your timer at the bottom. It's still active. You can also send a test email to yourself if you want, which is really nice. You can also see it in mobile, which is kind of cool. So that's helpful there. I don't want to save this, but that's your option there. So you have some ways to customize that. I'm not going to save that, I don't think. Actually, I need to just delete that. I'll delete that later. But that's how you create those. Yeah, you can just delete that now. But that's how you create an email broadcast, and then you can send it out to whoever. So actually, I do want to do a little test run here. So I'm going to just drop in this here. So I have my email template list here. Say I get all my content ready. And actually something you can do, this is a fun little fact that's kind of helpful. If you want to customize your subject line, this is really helpful to know. You can kind of copy and paste that personalized tag, and you can copy that into the subject line, so that's kind of good to know. So from here, I'll go to continue. And then this will show up here. So I don't want to send that to everyone. You can change your filters here. This is where you can customize who you want to send things out to. So you can go to like within a segment that is your tags. So you've got these ones here. You can send that out to that. You can send it out to all subscribers if you want. Cold subscribers, people who haven't responded lately, you can do that. You can also do certain regions, countries, that kind of thing, cities, postcodes. Again, that's if you want it to be very customized, that's really helpful. I'm just going to go to first name, and I'm just going to put in my email. I'll be able to send that to me as a test run. You can also choose, this is really helpful as well, you can choose to send it now, or you can send it in the future. This is really helpful. This is a great way to save you tons of time. If you want to batch a bunch of content, this is where this is helpful. So you can change the time however you want. You can only do 5-minute intervals. You can't do kind of like random times. So that's kind of a little bit of a bummer there, is you can't really customize that super specific. But I mean, 5-minute intervals is not a big deal. You can change it, years in advance if you want. So you can go as far ahead as you want if you wanted to, honestly. And then here, this is the little text that appears as like a preview for your when someone is on mobile, or this is just that little blurb section that they will see before they click into the email. So let's see here. And it's pretty short. It's only 150 characters, so it's like maybe a short sentence, maybe two. So it's really not a lot. It's maybe a sentence or two there. That's just gibberish, obviously. But then that's kind of what the preview looks like here. You can preview email, and that's what it's going to look like there. Okay. And that's a little bit of how to do your email. I'm not going to save that. I'll delete it later. But you can also see your drafts if you have those. If you have one that's processing, you've got that. So those are some options there. That's for your sending a broadcast. For your sequences, this is where you can create. I believe this is only available for the paid version, but this is, and some of these aren't. I only did these more recently, so these aren't as high in number. But you can create a new sequence. For this, you can, we'll say just text only. But you can use, again, an email template for that if you wanted. From here, this is where you can create multiple emails. So we'll say it's going to be like a 3-day thing. This one will send, let's see. This one here, then actually go back here to the first one. Day 1. This one sends immediately. So you can only do this on the first email here. So say someone signs up for an opt-in or a landing page, you can send the first one immediately. The next one you can send after 1 day of the last email here. And then this one, the next one, let's say day 2. And then we're going to go over to day 3, day 1, 2, 3. This one is going to be after 1 day of the last email. So you can also change it where maybe it doesn't send over the weekend if you wanted to. That is an option you can have as well. You can send it certain days if you wanted. So if you really want to personalize something there. And then this will show up as a 3-day sequence. Okay. And then you can also go over to settings, change things as well. So this one here only allows subscribers to receive the emails once. So if you ever need to go back and edit something in that sequence, you probably don't want your subscribers to see that sequence again, especially if it's a longer sequence. But this can be something that you might want to do. So this is an option. So if you have someone who's already subscribed to the sequence, they will restart from the beginning and receive the same content. If you, if they can sign up again, or I think if you edit something as well. So that is an option. You can also exclude people from certain sequences as well. So you can exclude different forms. I've got a bunch of them. I need to go through those. But you can exclude some forms if they have a sequence. If they've already done a sequence, you can exclude them from that. So be careful of this. I kind of learned this the hard way the first time. You can exclude certain subscribers from this, but it's not including. So do be mindful of that. When you want to include someone into it, you have to go to the automation option. This is just a sequence here. So you also have segments and tags as well. So those are some options here. You can also select a time zone if you really wanted to. When you want to send it out, you can have it your time zone. I would recommend having it your own, so that way there's less confusion for you. And then you can also change this here as well. This in the email as. I think there's a this change, the way to be able to change that option. I think you have to do that in the I think the creator profile, I believe, or somewhere in there. One of the settings. I'll have to find that in a little bit. But you can update the sequence. This one I'm just going to delete it. So if you want to automate a sequence, that's where you go to automate. You go to visual automations. Here's where you're going to create a sequence. So for I'm just going to go to the welcome sequence. And this is where you can, anyone who signs up for any of these forms here, I'll scroll over a little bit. Anyone who signs up for these forms, you can add on to that as well if you want. We can only have up to 5 in a row, so do be mindful of that. Anyone who signs up for any of these forms, they will go through this sequence, and then we'll get this welcome sequence here. Or you can also add events. So you can add in a tag if someone, follows a certain action, if a product is purchased, that kind of thing. You can do different actions, add the subscriber to an email sequence. And this is where you can choose the email sequence you have. So these are my email sequences here. So we'll say the welcome sequence, and then you can add that in. Also, you can have a condition. You can add filters, that kinds of things. You can also split up the subscribers. So if someone opens an email, you can kind of split up your subscribers into opens and custom fields, that kind of thing. So super easy to customize. It takes a little bit of getting used to. You can have to work with it, a little bit of experimenting to kind of get the hang of it. But it's also, I feel like, a great option for beginners as well, and even more advanced users. So that's a great option there. I'm not going to save the sequence. But you also have templates for automations. But honestly, I would suggest just starting from scratch. I think it's not too difficult. But you have some options here if you want to. So that's the sequences. You also have rules if you want. So anyone who triggers these forms here, they will be automatically subscribed to these sequences. So and so any of these forms here, I've got multiple forms and landing pages of the same thing. So these are all related to blogging. So I'll add them to this sequence when they start. Anyone who does the budget spreadsheet, they'll get the welcome sequence, and they'll get their opt-in as well. Anyone who subscribes to a certain form, also they'll be added to that tag. So you can add all kinds of rules to that if you want. You can get kind of nitpicky if you want, very specific, or it can be kind of broad. So that's kind of what the rules does. I'm going to kind of skip these two here. But again, if you want to add digital products to Convertkit, you can do that, and they can purchase from the emails. Tip jars, you can add that as well. And then different payouts, you can kind of update your payment options. Learning, or the Learn tab, this is where you can check out tutorials, articles. If you have a question, you can ask a community of people. You also have the Creator University. And this is where you can check out different courses here. So if you need if you want to learn a little bit more about that, you've got a couple courses here you can kind of check out. So that's pretty helpful there. And then back here, that's just kind of overall, I know this is kind of a long video, but that shows you a little more in depth about my review of it. I find it really easy to work with. I think it's great for beginners, and it's great to scale up to. So I would highly recommend, if you're not sure Convertkit's right for you, give it a try. The free version is option. The free version is it's unlimited. So back over here, the free version, it's free forever until you get to that 1,000 subscribers, obviously. It's free forever. You've got all of these options here to use. So as you are growing and scaling your email list, the free version gives you pretty much everything you need to get started. With the free version, you won't have access again to those sequences or automations, so you'll probably be spending a little more time working with Convertkit, working with your email network. But when you're first starting, the free version is great. So you don't have to have a trial for the free version, but if you wanted to start the creator version, kind of play a little bit with some of the automations and sequences, you can do the free trial if you would like. So you've got that option. When you're ready to scale up, super easy. And again, if you have any more questions, you've got the frequently asked questions section down here, so you can give that a look. And make sure to go ahead and click my link to get access to the pricing page here. And then otherwise, that's kind of my review, my experience with it, and also a little bit of a tutorial on how to use it. So super easy, great for beginners, great for people who are scaling. Highly recommend it. So